Mohit, tell us, and you were referring to this earlier, that you can even buy bonds through the stock exchange route right now. And in turn, I think they go on the RBI platform. I mean, I think there are brokers like Zerodha, for instance, that allow you to do these trades. How does it work? What's the tax mechanism on these bonds?
So Surbhi, you can buy government securities, though liquidity is not very great. It is available on the NSE platform through regular brokers, basically, and some of the online broking platforms also provide access. But as I told, the liquidity is not very high, and one has to be very careful of what the actual brokerage is. Because in case of G-Secs, look, you're trading for a 6% kind of an yield, and if you end up paying 50 bips of brokerage or 30 bips of brokerage, the yield will get diluted totally for that 10-year of horizon which you're holding on, right? So you have to be very conscious of what is the brokerage. You can buy it through regular brokers. It's available, but liquidity is not very high. So one has to be extremely careful. Liquidity is high only in few particular segments, like a 10-year paper maybe, right? So it's not high on the shorter duration papers or the long dated like 30-year papers. So that's there. But I think for retail investors, a better opportunity, Surbhi, is to consider the RBI bonds. And I genuinely feel those are much better opportunities, and we can perhaps have a discussion around that.
Okay, tell us more. Are you referring to these floating rate bonds that I think were issued last year? And so these are also sovereign backed. And why do you say that they're a better option?
Look, Surbhi, because for multiple reasons, ease of availability, it's available through 11 state banks, four private sector banks, nationalized banks. So it's available very readily. The coupon is tagged to the rate of NSE, which is the National Savings Certificate rate. So the current coupon is 35 bips over NSE rate. So that's a floating rate thing. So if NSE is 6.8, the current rate is 7.15, which is much more attractive than your 10-year
Wow.
GSEC. It's issued by RBI. So obviously the sovereign risk kind of or the credit risk kind of nullifies to a great extent out there.
Uh-huh.
It's paid out semi-annual. It's can be bought in any denomination. Unlike your GSECs, which are traded and liquid at a very high denominations, these bonds you can purchase at rupee 1,000 also, right? And it comes into a special ledger account, but they give you physical certificates for it. And 7.15 being floating rates would be, if you anticipate that interest rates will go up, this bond will keep getting repriced higher and higher. It's a 7-year tenor, right? So there is a very high likelihood that the
Okay,
interest rate which is paid out will go up.
Okay, Mohit, let me recap this because this is a lot of information for our viewers to take, and it sounds really too good to be true. First of all, you're saying that we're getting a bond with a rate as high as 7.15%. It's got sovereign backing. You can get it through various banks. And you're saying it's a floating bond. So since we are in a cycle where generally interest rates are supposed to go up, very little chances of the coupon falling. You're saying in all probability, if you ride it, and 7 years is the lock-in, you said, we have to be in it for 7 years.
Yes.
No getting out. So this sounds like a pretty good idea to me, but you tell me, is there a catch? There's always a catch somewhere, right?
So there is no liquidity in it. Absolutely no liquidity available. You are locked in for that tenor of 7 years. You can't avail loans against it, and you can't do a premature redemption. There are clauses that if you're 80 years and above, perhaps you can redeem after 4th year. If you are 70 years and above, 70 to 80, you can redeem after 5th. And if you are 60 and above, you can redeem after 6th year. For that year, 50% of your coupon will be deducted on premature redemption. So liquidity, absolutely no. 7-year lock-in, and there is no loan facility against it, but absolutely no catches. It's very easily doable. 7.15, to my mind, being floating rate, is a great interest rate to lock in.